Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight is a paranormal investigator, Paula Dytko. How's it going, Paula?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. I love just talking. Let's see how this goes. It's my first podcast ever, so be gentle.
First podcast?
I've watched them, but I've never been on one before, so.
Really? You never been on? Wow, you should, something, you should feel special.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. That's why when you asked, I was like, absolutely.
It's like, hey, let's do this. Now, tell me about the Paranormal Project.
Paranormal Project, it's my journey. It's more of my journaling. I go places almost every week, like almost 2 places every week. And I started losing track of where I've gone, what experiences I've had. And so I was like, it's kind of my journal and my project, my personal project. Like, there's so much paradrama in the world. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to strip out all the people. This is me. This is my journey. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it like everyone else. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And yeah, I have some great people. I have the P3 crew who follow me and show up from different places all over the place. But it's really my journey and showing you how I approach the paranormal.
So you got a P3 crew. Is that your investigative crew or different investigators from all around?
I like to say I'm inclusive, not exclusive, because there are so many teams and there's no initiation for me. There's no jumping through the hoops. There's no, I have to suck up and bake brownies for this person, or I have to like appease someone's wife to be in a group. No, like I'm out there ghost hunting. I just want to go talk to the dead people. The living people are more scarier than the dead people. And I just want to learn and experience and learn from new investigators and new techniques and new equipment. I'm just out there to learn.
Since you're learning about your craft every day, everybody's learning something what they enjoy. So far, what have you learned so far that while you've been doing this?
I've definitely learned that ghost hunting is not like Hollywood, obviously. It does not happen in 42 minutes. It's a very long process. We like to say ghost hunting is like fishing. Some days the fish are biting, sometimes the fish are not, and you're just in a boat with some beer. But just be patient and listen. And I'm a big history nerd. So it's like listening to history come true, listening to the walls that could talk, listening to that fly that's on the wall. And what I love is getting into new haunted places or unknown haunted places and having those spirits who have never had a voice before, they just go crazy. And it's great to hear their voices for the first time.
That's pretty cool. Finding. So, how do you find these unknown places? I mean, there's so many investigators always finding different places. How would you go by finding a known place where no one's never entered before?
Well, one of the places I'm going to show you on Sunday is Backwater Voodoo, and it's my home base. They're my little family that invited me to come to Miamisburg and ghost investigate. And their building is like built in 1818, so that's a good starter there. You got a super old house. Do your history, find out who lived there, listen to the rumors. Is anybody having experiences? It's a lot of interviewing, a lot of listening to the living people as well. And then you just go set your stuff up. You get your crew that you know you're confident and reliable and have their head on straight. And you go in with the equipment you trust and the people you trust, and you see what you get. And Voodoo was awesome. I've been to Backwater Voodoo, set up equipment for 45 minutes, and it was unbelievable what we left with. I expected nothing, and we got more than we knew what we were doing.
So what was some of the interesting stuff you got from that place that really got you going, whoa?
Well, exactly. I have this really cool piece of equipment, custom made. It's K2 tripwire, and it's little K2 meters. Electricians use it. You can use them to detect electricity in the walls, electromagnetic fields and stuff like that. Love that stuff. stuff. They run on that stuff. And it's 12-foot tripwire and has all these little containers, and they go rainbow colors. So we put that up on the steps, and we started playing music. Love music. It's an international language. And series, go away. And it just went crazy. And what's really cool about Backwater Voodoo is sometimes they get these pirates from the Renaissance Fair that come after hours and play. So there's just crazy pirate music. And that energy, we put that music on, and that energy just lit the whole place up. We had flashlights going off. We had K2s going off. We had creepy music box going off. And it just kept going off. And I'm like, is this going to stop? Like, you're going to kill my batteries. But that's okay, because we're getting it on tape. So
that's pretty good. It seems like more people like investigate at night. Do you also investigate during the day? Because ghosts never sleep.
Exactly. You can do it any time of the day. I go during the day. I'll do walkthroughs for residentials, what I call residentials. People who reach out to me and say, hey, there's something crazy going on in my house. Can you come check it out? I'll walk through the day. I'm going to get it during the day. The only reason people do it at night is, the only reason people investigate during the night is because it gets quieter and things settle down and you can see like shadows moving. And so, but no, you can ghost hunt anytime.
Yeah, like I said, I would do it like both. I mean, I've been on some investigations before too, and I'm like a magnet. I can light them up, and everybody loves it when they take me because for some reason they just attract to me.
Well, good. We'll take you into the Bomb Opera House because they'll love you. They're funny in there. They're pranksters.
Oh, really? What kind of pranks do they do? Have you had any of them prank on you?
Oh my gosh. So we were doing a spirit box session, and one of my people there, Valerie, they actually were giving her like kind of commands, and they had her start doing the hokey pokey. They had her like stand up, turn around, put her right hand in the air, and I was like, listen, we're not doing the hokey pokey, sorry. And I mean, it's just funny stuff like that. But I mean, sometimes they're not nice. Sometimes we had a lady drained her car battery, which was not great, but she did get a jump. She thought, okay, my battery's dead. I'll take it to the shop the next morning. She took it to the shop, and her battery was fine. So the Bomb Opera House just thought it would be fun to drain her battery. I don't know, but everything was good.
Well, tell me some of your encounters that you had that you wish you never had that really got in your head.
Let me think. I think probably I have had two like attachment issues. I'm not going to name the names of the places because I don't want people running there and me having to deal with the fallout from that. But they're not. One of them I know is not a earthbound soul. It's something that has been brought into a location through like Ouija or conjuring or I don't know what it is. It's not human. It's not good. And so I warn people, when you go there, respect it, keep your distance. Well, that guy decided decided he was going to try to jump ship one night and go home with me. So that's something I wish I could have like known how to shut down, to like protect against, I guess. Another location is, it is a guy, and he's kind of arrogant. I'm sorry, sometimes I talk about dead people like they're living. So this is a dead person. He's arrogant. He has a thing about thinking women are his possessions, blah, blah, blah. And he decided to come home with me, and I didn't know it until I went to my friend's house, and his husband is like a medium, and he's like, who's the angry dude you just left outside the house? And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, there's a dude you don't want around you. You need to get rid of him. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of recently. But those are two encounters I wish did not happen. And I have rule number one, if I have a 9-year-old and 11-year-old in home, I can't bring that stuff home.
I wouldn't blame you because kids are sensitive to that, and kids can see that, especially animals. I mean, they'll go like super crazy, you know, and you're just sitting there going, okay, what are you looking at?
Where was I? I was just at the USS North Carolina this past weekend, ghost hunting.
Okay.
And I worked with the group Wounded Soldiers, and it was amazing because they're all veterans who have been sadly injured or have disabilities, but they brought a whole group on for free. They got to hunt with us. And the one guy was telling me he had gone to Zach Back Museum out in Las Vegas, and he has a service dog. That dog would not go into the building. That dog like cowered behind him the entire time. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably because there's really messed up stuff at that place.
Oh yeah, I've been to that Zach Bagans Haunted Museum. There's a lot of stuff, and then when you walk in there, there's some areas where you have that feeling where you don't want to like step right near some of that stuff. I had like major goosebumps. I had an uneasy feeling in certain areas of that place. I felt a little bit uneasy.
Yeah, it's someplace on my list, but it's someplace I'm definitely a little like, I'm going to go in respectively, and I'm going to respect the area and spray myself down with holy water. I'll go with precaution. I do have some friends who went and did the tour and then got to ghost hunted, and she said it was like really super extra creepy being there at night in the dark.
I bet it is because Zach buys everything from everybody. I was talking to the Booth brothers. They're like, yeah, and Zach just bought the diary from the original priest that was based off the Exorcist movie.
Oh, wow!
So yeah, the Booth brothers had it, and they said that was like very haunted and stuff. So Zach purchased it from them, and it's at the Haunted Museum. I was talking to him when I saw him at Scarefest. We were talking about paranormal stories and all that, and some stuff, haunted stuff they've encountered. But yeah, they sold that to Zach Bagans.
That's crazy. I mean, he's due to take it if anyone's going to take it.
Yeah, and they the Booth Brothers took a picture of one of the main pages from the journal before they gave it to Zach. And you can see it. I can't read it. So it's in the it's in like a different language. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So he showed me a picture of it. I was like, wow.
That's the mess up, and that's kind of funny you said about The Exorcist, because we said we were going to talk about horror movies.
Yeah.
And The Exorcist is the one movie I will not even allow in my house. That movie scares the beep out of me. It's just too real. It's just like that stuff. Yeah, because it happened to a little boy instead of a girl. I don't know. That movie, I'm so freaked out by that movie. I don't even want it in my house.
The original Exorcist, you don't want in a house, really?
Yeah. No, I don't want any breadcrumbs or anything. Like, no, stay away. But I've seen the movie probably 4 times.
So have you seen the sequel to it, True Believer?
I probably have at one point, but it's probably way back. So I know I want to see the new one because the preview looks freaky. It had twins in it, so I'll watch them. Sometimes I just don't want them in my house.
Wow, and you're a lover of horror, but that one maybe really gets under your skin. The Exorcist.
It does. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't because of how old. I think I was like 13 or 14 when I saw it. I would go away to my brother and sister-in-law's house for spring break when I was in middle school, and I wasn't allowed to watch anything scary. And she would take me to the video store, and she would get me everything scary. So I would spend my entire spring break during middle school watching all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, all the all the Amityvilles, and all the Stephen King movies, and I learned all the basics on spring break. Now, I didn't sleep very well, and I had some crazy dreams, but I got educated.
I bet you did. So what type of genre of horror do you really enjoy?
I like anything. My favorite series is the Conjuring series.
Okay.
I know there's some liberties they take. I love the Warrens. You say Warrens, and my heart just, I wish I had met them. Oh my God, Warrens are people. I love the movies that they're doing. I love that the Warrens are getting such big publicity and notice and everything. The little spin-offs sometimes, like Annabelle was decent. The Nun's been great. I need to see Nun 2, but Nun 1 was great. I just really like how they're getting into it, and it's very real. And then the other kind of horror genre, I kind of get anything like historical, like Crimson Peak, Bram Stoker Dracula, anything like Victorian, period set. I'm all for it.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there too. So, what got you into the fascination with the Warrens?
Oh my gosh, the Warrens. I'm trying to think how far back. It has to be Annabelle. It just has to be probably some Halloween. Like, 'cause I've watched all the Halloween shows. Since,
Yeah.
I mean, VHSs. I taped them on VHS and watched them over and over again. So, I'm sure I just heard a story about Annabelle or something about them and just got fascinated with them and started reading about them. So, it kind of spins out. I get into something and I just Google the crap out of it.
I would love to check out their haunted museum and all that, where Annabelle and everything is. What I was reading, they had to bring a priest in there that has to always bless it in there.
Right, they do. Kind of has to knock off the pegs here and there. But I think there's probably some creepier stuff in that museum than Annabelle, too. But who would want to put all that stuff in one place? Just like Zach. Who would want, like, they're all going to be, like, working together. I mean, what do they got going? What's the ultimate plan here?
Exactly. And Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll. And I was watching a documentary and some of the interviews on the Warrens. They have a sign. You have to ask Annabelle permission to take a picture. But if you don't, bad things happen. And then they were talking about stories how people would sneak and get a picture, and then after they leave, there's always like bad stuff that happens to them.
Yeah, that's Robert too down in Key West. Robert's like I'm fascinated by the Robert, but it's like I don't want to like screw up the rules and have something happen. Like I didn't ask in time. I didn't say nice enough. Like, and I warn people, I'm like, you gotta see Robert in Key West. You don't mess with that. Like, do everything you're supposed to do, and then spray down with holy water.
Have you seen Robert in person?
No. I've watched every single documentary probably out there. I've seen the Zach Baggins where he's interviewed him. Like I've seen Robert through the TV a lot.
Well, so would you ever go and see Robert, or you be like, we'll see it on TV?
I would, because I'm kind of like you can dare me pretty much to do just about anything. Like, I'm kind of that, even if it's going to scare the crap out of me, I'm still going to try to do it, because I just don't like to say no to anything. So I would go see Robert. I would just put myself in the headspace I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, since you know about the stuff of paranormal field, as I do, the paranormal community too, there's a lot of people that like to try to dab into the Ouija boards and all that. I won't mess with that.
Ouija's an interesting conversation. I really kind of judge the room that I'm sitting in, because Ouija boards are really, really, they've gone way, way, way back, and they were an early form of communicating with spirits. And what you're doing is you're opening a portal, and what you need to do is be able to close the portal. And I mean, some people say people who use pendulums or people who use spirit boxes, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're opening these portals. Ouija boards have just gotten a bad rap, but it is something that when you open, you have to close. And if you don't know how to dabble in that, don't go near it. Like, absolutely. I won't. Like, I have a couple of people I really, really trust who I trust to shut it down, but I haven't done it yet. Haven't been the right time, right place with the right Ouija board. But I do go into locations. There's a couple locations I've been into that have Ouija rooms. And I'm like, let's just kind of be respectful of that area. Like, I'm not into that, but some people are really into Ouija boards. And there's good and there's bad about it.
You mean Ouija rooms? You mean that rooms full of boards?
Yes. There's a place I went to back in January, almost a year ago. And they're, like, everywhere. Normally there are signs that say, do not do Ouija boards. Ouija boards are not allowed on property. We will kick you off. This one was, there's Ouija boards all over this room. Feel free to use them. And it's like, really? Do you, like, what? Like, do you know what you're opening yourself up to? And I mean, that's something I don't get into. Like, I don't go into a location to conjure. I don't provoke. I don't go in there looking to exorcise people. I'm not looking to cross over anybody. If they want to, I'm there. Like, I'll ask them, do you know where you're at? Like, sometimes they don't even know they're dead. If they don't know where to go, I'm going to help them. But you're not going to see me go running out of building, like, saying I'm possessed, I've been scratched. Like, I've never been scratched. Yeah, I've been, like, touched, and, I mean, I've gotten a back rub a couple times, and my hair pulled, but nothing, like, crazy. So, I don't know. I'm not the ghost adventure type girl. I'm definitely the ghost hunter type girl and taps.
That's pretty good too. So have you ever checked out Poatstown Elementary in Middletown?
I might have talked about that one just a little bit ago. Yeah. I take a group to Poatstown. I took a group 2 times last year. And I think I've been to Poatstown 4 or 5 times because it's really close.
Yeah, I went once, and down in the boiler room, you can get a lot of activity down there, and it gives you the heebie-jeebies. And then over there by the hall by the principal's door, that is creepy as heck. And in the doll room, I will not walk in that doll room.
You won't all. Oh my gosh, they're all just watching you. They're all just going to turn their heads and start watching you walk across the room.
Yeah, I don't like anything with spooky dolls because I had a bad experience when I was a kid. I stayed over at my friend's house and they made me stay in the guest room, and the whole guest room was filled with old dolls with glass eyes. Dude, gross. That freaked me out. I couldn't sleep. I had to get out of that room and go sleep on the living room couch.
Yeah, like why does every location have to have a creepy doll room? Like, I don't get that. I mean, I know it sells. People love the creepy dolls, but I'm kind of like, oh God, here we go. Here's the creepy doll room. Great. You know, like, who's haunted? Who's not haunted? Which one am I watching my back on? Like having flashbacks of Chucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Creepy clowns don't bother me. I mean, I could care less about creepy clowns, but you get me near dolls, I was like, no.
Yeah, especially ones that look pretty effed up. Yeah, like what happened to that? I have a doll over in that was in one of my shops over in Waynesville. That doll was messed up. That doll was burnt. It was like torn. That doll was possessed. But
how did you? How'd you know? How did you tell that burnt doll was possessed? Did you like?
What did we do? Like, I have like a clip video of. I could even one point, and it's called like Baby Secrets. It's from like the 1960s. It's one of those drawstring dolls, and like you look up the original picture of this doll, and you're like, what the f did these people do to this poor doll? Bad things happen with that doll. They probably tried to burn that doll and stage that doll. I don't know. But weird things happen in the store. Weird voices, things moving. Just every time the doll was around, there would just be really weird. And then we'd have people who just walk into the shop who are mediums and sensitive, and they'd be like, that one right there. What's going on with that one? So
are you sensitive a little bit too, or just a regular paranormal investigator?
I'm a work in progress. There we go. The work in progress. I think the more open you are and the more you do it, I think the more sensitive you get just naturally. I can go into places and kind of be like, I think you're haunted. But then I can go into places and be like, I don't think you're haunted, and then someone else will find it. So I think if you leave yourself open, safely open, you do become more accustomed, and you can't feel out if there's a haunting or not. So, but if you go into a location and you're negative, and you bring like negativity in the space and adversity, and I don't know how to put it, like you're going in there looking for a fight, you're going to bring that energy into the location. You're going to end up getting scratched. You're going to end up running out of there and you're not going to have the actual experience with the haunting.
Wow. The opera house you're going to be taking me to Sunday.
Yes.
How much activity's in there? And is it like a very like historical old type of building?
It is. It is 1905. I'll have to bring my notes just to make sure.
Okay.
And it's not been investigated a whole lot. I just got in there, I think back in March, and I've done at least 4 or 5 investigations already. It's one of those locations that they just haven't gotten time to talk, and now they're talking, and now they're hilarious. It depends. Like, I do ghost tours, and one of my last ghost tours, I just took in there and told my ghost stories. We were in there for like maybe 15 minutes, and the next day I got a call from the owner, or the lady who works in the office, and she's like, "What did you do in here last night?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What kind of ghost hunt did you have in here last night?" And I'm like, "I just told scary stories. I did nothing more than tell scary stories." She's like, "This place has been bonkers all day." She's like, "The elevator is going up and down on its own. It's opening its doors. It's making weird noises. I'm hearing weird stuff." And I was like, "Do you want me to come over and talk to them? Like, I can bring some sage, or like, I don't know." I'm like, I didn't do anything. So it's one that's definitely, every time I go, it's getting better. There's more.
So I bet it is. You've probably you probably got to know some of the main spirits there too. Who's the main spirit in that opera house that's like in charge of everything, that keeps everything in check?
What we call the alpha. I don't know if I have his name. We do have someone who comes through. We have the Bob Templar room. We don't know if it's Bob. It might be Bob. But he comes through in that room. We do have a guy who follows me around. My name's His name's Jonathan. He's not what I call a resident ghost to the bomb. He follows me around. But he's cool because he has this brawl. He calls me ma'am. And he's welcome to follow me whenever I'm in Miamisburg. So we do have a couple kids. I'm a magnet for kids. Just be ready for that. Anywhere there's a kid, they're going to find me. It's the mom thing. So, and I love it. I'm like, I don't freak out when it's like a little ghost kid. Like, I'm like, what do you want? Do you want a cookie? Do you want a Care Bear? Like, what do you want? What can I bring you? Like, I appease them. I love them. I'm like, I want to be your mom. What can I do to help you? So, I don't know. I end up with a lot of ghost kids that want to hang out with me.
Nice. So, where can everybody find you on social media?
I am totally on Facebook. I'm like all over Facebook. You can find me at P3 Paulas Paranormal Project. I also run Miamisburg, Ohio Paranormal, and I run Waynesville, Ohio Paranormal. You can find me on Instagram. I'm on there. I'm not on there a whole ton. And of course, I need to do more. I need to get on YouTube. I need to get on TikTok. So that's all a work in progress as well.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Great. It was fun. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody.